Welcome in. Thank you for tuning in and watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. Carlene Bragg is here. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It was a weekend.
It wasn't long enough.
It wasn't. That's the first thing Carlene said to me when she approached my desk after her first show. She said, "You know what? The weekend wasn't long enough."
I could use an
agree.
Extra day.
I think we all could.
Yeah.
And now because it's rainy and it's rainy.
It's rainy and icky. Look at this. Hold on.
Rainy.
You want to see Myrtle? Look at that.
Oh,
Look at her.
yeah,
look at the Myrtle. She's not cute.
No, not at all. It's the cameras is. Ugh.
Dirty Myrtle.
The voice you're hearing, that is Becca Birdsall. Look, we got this rain coming in. You know, to think about it, the weekend changed a lot from what we were going into the weekend on Friday.
Yeah.
We were prepared to do something total. This show is going to look totally different.
Yeah.
I know. It turned for the better.
For the better, yeah.
For the better. We'll still see beneficial rain, just not nearly as much as we were forecasting earlier last week. But we are still seeing clouds and rainfall across the area. Definitely more of a lazy Monday, I think, for all of us. And definitely an unusual setup going into this week, as tomorrow, Imelda is expected to strengthen into a hurricane. That means 2 hurricanes within about 500-600 miles in proximity to one another.
Look at those swirlies.
Look at them go. Yeah. Umberto is...
That's like they're swirlies, you know.
They're doing a little dance, a little tango, and eventually Hurricane Umberto is going to help steer Imelda out to sea. So thanks, Umberto. Umberto is the one on the right. That is the much more powerful system, Category 5 status actually that it reached this weekend, now down to about a Category 3. And then the one on the left, that is Imelda. That's what's bringing in all the tropical moisture and clouds that you see. So far, we've just been seeing kind of just sprinkles on the windshield in terms of light rainfall, especially in the Charlotte metro area. But you can see some pockets of heavier rain, especially over towards Polkton. That is northern Richmond County as well. So pockets of briefly heavier downpours in the oranges and yellows. That's going to be basically what we see on and off throughout the day. So today will likely be a washout just in terms of mostly light rainfall. We'll carry the clouds and misty conditions for much of the day. Because of that, it's going to keep a lid on temperatures. So cool, cloudy conditions will prevail for today. Exactly what you can see from our Mr. Sparky Carolina Cab Network. With outside temps now around 67 in Charlotte, 70 in Cheraw, and 61 up in Boone. This is what we'll do for the high today. 71 degrees expected across the greater Charlotte area, and middle 60s for the high country. Not only is Imelda going to be bringing us those rain showers, but also those windy conditions as well. You can expect wind gusts to ramp up from the northeast, anywhere from about 25 to up to 30 miles per hour. That will especially start to ramp up going into your Tuesday. So latest 11 a.m. advisory for Tropical Storm Imelda. It has strengthened with winds sustained now at 60 miles per hour in the center, gust up to around 70. So for it to become a Cat 1 hurricane, it needs wind speeds 74 miles per hour or greater. Again, expected to do that and strengthen as it pushes a little bit out from land. Expected to do that by Tuesday morning. And then make a sharp right-hand steer to the east and head directly towards Bermuda area before continuing that track to the east. So Hurricane Umberto, this is the newest advisory as well. We've got winds sustained at 145 miles per hour. That's actually a strong end Cat 4, gust around 175. So we'll continue to take a similar path that Hurricane Gabrielle did, if you remember that, and have no direct impacts on land, both of these, except for the potential of Bermuda. So Futurecast will have 2 twin hurricanes going into the next couple of days, bringing lots of rainfall impacts to the coast, although no landfalling impacts expected, beach erosion, and certainly large swells alongside the east coast and rip currents expected as well. So how much rainfall can we expect from now all the way through about Tuesday evening? Well, it's going to vastly range on who gets the heavier downpours. Some locations around a quarter, and then a few isolated locations picking up about an inch of rainfall. Of course, this is beneficial from the mountains into the metro. So timing this out for you, again, periods of rain, some of which could be heavy at times. That's going to be the forecast for today. We'll continue this into Tuesday morning and early afternoon as well before a little bit of a drying period, I'd say, especially after 1, 2 o'clock. We'll still carry the clouds likely, but rain chances will start to taper off. And by Wednesday, we are looking and feeling nicer. Before we get that, again, there is going to be a potential for some minor nuisance flooding, especially over towards the coast, but really not something that we'll be worried about. So high temperatures will start to warm up close to about 80 degrees on Wednesday, which is close to the normal high for this time of year, which is right around 79. And then we'll get a blast of some cooler, drier air starting Thursday down into the middle 70s. And lower humidity, fall-like conditions can be expected going into this weekend, warming up to the upper 70s to lower 80s. We could potentially have some of the coldest mornings that we've seen for this fall season by Thursday, 53, but waking up close to around 50 degrees by the time we get into Saturday morning. So some cool starts to the day, followed by some warmer afternoons going into this nice upcoming weekend. Of course, October begins on Wednesday. It'll be feeling pretty seasonable, highs close to 80 degrees, but really looking forward to that push of drier and cooler air beginning Thursday, pretty much continuing into next weekend.
Ooh, I'm loving how Thursday looks. Okay, 74, 53.
That's my perfect weather.
I'm saying I can get with that.
Yes.
That is pre-fall. I mean, I know technically we're in fall, but like pre-fall weather, I can get with that.
Yeah. And we've got the Roval 400
Oh,
on
yeah.
Sunday.
Perfect weather for
Yes.
Roval
should be
400.
fantastic conditions for that.
Becca, thank you for your time.
Of course.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus.